There was an upset that occurred late last night in Division One men's basketball. This occurred in the Big 12. Apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Number 6 Iowa State lost to number 23 BYU 79-69. I get that Richie Saunders is out for the rest of the year for BYU with the torn ACL, but BYU is a tough place to play. I know in 2 instances for sure in the Big 12 that an upset didn't occur in Provo. I mean, Houston played BYU and they won by double digits. They even played Arizona in Provo and they still won the game, though that BYU made a late push. So you get the point. This obviously impacts the Big 12 standings and NCAA tournament seeding down the line. BYU is 20-7 on the year, 8-6 on the Big 12, while Iowa State is 23-4 on the year, 10-4 in the Big 12. Yeah, if they would have won this game, they would have been tied with Houston for second place. That's important to note. BYU was up at halftime, 39-30. Second half, both teams scored a little bit more. I mean, Iowa State with 39 points, but BYU scored 40. But there's more to the game than that. That's why I'm going to go over stats. I looked at the last minute of the game already. That was just garbage time stuff. The game was already decided by then. Let's just be real. Iowa State shot 43% from the field on 54 attempts. They made a third of their threes on 24 attempts, 79% on free throws on 19 attempts, 28 rebounds, 6 of those offensive, 13 assists, 10 turnovers, 6 steals, 1 block, and 20 fouls. How many points off the bench? I mean, Dominikas Plata had 2. Jermarion Bateman had 14, so that's 16 already. And Nate Heisey had 7, so that's 23 points off the bench. And Jermarion Bateman is like 6.4 points per game in terms of average, so he did more. Now, 3 double-digit scores that could bonfire. Joshua Jefferson had 13 points, but he was inefficient. 4 for 13 from the field, 1 for 5 on threes, 4 for 5 on free throws. He had 8 rebounds and 7 assists, so near triple-double, potentially. And Taman Lipsey had 19 points, though he was like 7 for 15 from the field. Not like terrible percentage. 3 for 4 on threes, 2 for 2 on free throws, but you get the whole point. That's 32 points, and obviously I already mentioned Jermarion Bateman. So that's 46 points from 3 players, and 2 players scored 6 more points in this game. I mean, Blake Buchanan had 6 points, and I already kind of mentioned Nate already. So it's 6, so that's 13 points right there. And Milan Momcilovic was shut down in this game, to say the least. And I know part of it's due to foul trouble, but he only had like 5 points in the game. He's a guy that averages more than double digits, like more than 10 points per game, like 17 to 18 points per game sometimes. So that definitely affected them. And obviously, Keon Torre, he's closer to double digits. He only had 3 in the game. So that did not help Iowa State at all. Now, BYU had only 5 bench points. I mean, it came from Kadum, MBO. Yeah, 5 points and 2 double-digit scores that combined for AJ DeBonza had 29 points and Kennard Davis Jr. had 17. So that's actually 3 double-digit scores, but you get the 1 point that combined for okay. That's 46 already, plus Miholo Buskovic had 13, so that's 59 points right there. Kebakata, I mean, they had like 2 other players score 6 points this game. Rob Wright with 6 points, while Kebakata had 9. So AJ DeBonce is no surprise, but Miholo Buskovic, he averages like 3.5 points per game right now. He clearly did more than he should in this game. And Kennard Davis is like near 8 points per game. So he did more than his average as well. And Rob Wright was not as productive as you could tell because he averages like 18 points per game. But still. And he was like 2 for 8 on from the field, 0 for 3 on threes. You get the whole point. Now, BYU made half their shots from the field on 58 attempts, 28% on threes on 25 attempts. That's not going to necessarily cut it down the line, but you got away with it in this game. 70% on free throws on 20 attempts. And AJ DeBonson did have a near triple-double. He had, besides 29 points, 10 rebounds and 9 assists. So now, as a team, BYU had 39 rebounds, 12 of those offensive, 13 assists, 11 turnovers, 7 steals, 2 blocks, and 15 fouls. Now I'm going to go to the points, turnovers, points in the paint, fast break points as well. Points turnovers favor BYU in this game, 13-8. Same thing goes for fast break points, 14-9. Same thing goes for points in the paint, 40-22. What's the remaining of the schedule for both these squads? This is besides the Big 12 tournament, of course. Well, Iowa State, you got to go on the road to Utah next on February 24th. I don't think you should lose that game, but if you do, that's an epitome of brutality. Then obviously you get Texas Tech at home. Good that you get them at home instead of going on the road to Lubbock. And now we all know that JT Toppin's out for the year for Texas Tech, so it makes it a little bit easier, but let the wait and see. Obviously, March 2nd, you got Arizona on the road. That's a yikes. Then March 7th, you got Arizona State at home. I think that's a winnable game. Right there, I'm just being real. Now for BYU, you got UCF at home. They're vying for the NCAA tournament lives now. On February 24th, then you got to go on the road to West Virginia February 28th. I think their NCAA tournament hopes are dashed with the loss to Utah earlier this week, but they're still trying to find themselves a way to get to the NCAAs here. So you can't sleep on them. Then you got obviously on Cincinnati on the road. March starting, and that's a Cincinnati team that beat Kansas yesterday by double digits in Lawrence. Cincinnati is closer to being considered for the NCAA tournament. It's just the problem is they have to do so much work to even get to the last 4 in category. I'm just saying, beware of that game. And then obviously you got Texas Tech, and you get them at home instead of in Lubbock on March 7th. And I kind of mentioned this, no JT Toppin for the rest of the year for Texas Tech. Maybe it's a little bit easier, but then again, Texas Tech could say, hey, no JT Toppin for us, but they don't have Richie Saunders for BYU. So it's going to be interesting how these two teams obviously adjust between BYU and Texas Tech without their respective better players on the roster, if not the best. And the same thing goes like for Iowa State down the line, what they're going to do. I know they don't have injuries per se, but they got to find a way to bounce back from this loss here, and it was not like close. And it's not even close enough that I needed to go over the last minute of the game either. And this is what I also call a letdown. They beat Houston earlier this week on Monday. Now that you lost to BYU. But it's the nature of the Big 12, though. It is a chaotic league, to say the least. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Goals ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So remember this scores like video. Comment really helps YouTube background. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching, not subscribe, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well.